Imagine a monster that breathes wind so powerful it can strip the asphalt right off the road. It can pick up a freight train and toss it like a child's toy. You might think this is a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster, but for millions of people, this is a terrifying reality. In the heart of America, the sky doesn't just bring rain, it brings destruction. Welcome to the world of the tornado, where nature shows us just how small we really are.
Hello and welcome. If you're new here, welcome to Amazing 5.
Let's take a journey across the map, away from the coasts, deep into the center of the United States. If you look at the globe, tornadoes happen almost everywhere, from the plains of Asia to the coasts of Europe. But there is one specific patch of land that nature seems to have chosen as its primary battlefield. They call it Tornado Alley. This stretch of land, covering Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, is unique. It is here that a deadly atmospheric recipe is cooked up every year. Picture invisible armies of air marching toward each other. From the south, the Gulf of Mexico sends up warm, heavy, humid air. From the west, the Rocky Mountains send down cold, dry air. When these two opposing forces collide, they don't just mix, they go to war. This war in the sky creates the supercell, the mother of all thunderstorms. If you were standing in a field in Kansas looking up, you wouldn't just see a storm, you would see a living, breathing beast. Inside these clouds, the wind starts to do something strange. It begins to roll horizontally, like an invisible rolling pin spinning in the sky. Then, as the heat from the ground rises, it pushes that rolling tube of air upward until it stands vertical. Now, the storm is spinning. It grows darker, heavier, and angrier. A funnel drops down from the clouds, searching for the earth like a finger pointing in judgment. The moment it touches the ground, the funnel cloud becomes a tornado, and the clock for survival begins to tick. Most of these storms are small and vanish quickly, but sometimes the conditions are too perfect and the monster becomes unstoppable. Let's travel back in time to the evening of May 3rd, 1999. The sun was setting over Oklahoma City. Families were sitting down for dinner, televisions were flickering with the evening news, and everything seemed normal. But on the radar screens, meteorologists saw something that made their blood run cold. It was the Bridge Creek Moore tornado. This wasn't just a storm, it was a grinder. The winds inside this vortex were spinning at over 480 kilometers per hour, the highest wind speed ever recorded on Earth. It tore through the city with a violence that is hard to describe. It didn't just knock houses down, it erased them, it scoured the ground clean. In just 85 minutes, it caused $1 billion in damage and took 36 lives. It was a stark reminder that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, we cannot tame the wind. People often confuse these wind monsters with other storms, like hurricanes. You might hear words like typhoon or cyclone, but those are just different names for hurricanes depending on where they are in the world. A hurricane is a giant, slow-moving tragedy. It is hundreds of miles wide, and we usually see it coming days in advance. A tornado is different. A tornado is a ninja. It is small, rarely wider than 2 kilometers, but it is incredibly concentrated and fast. While a hurricane gives you days to evacuate, a tornado gives you minutes. On average, you have only 13 minutes from the time the siren wails to the time the roof rips off. That is barely enough time to grab your children and run to the basement. The mystery of these storms continues to baffle us. Sometimes they behave in ways we can't explain. In 2018, tourists on a beach in Thailand looked out at the ocean and saw not one, but 4 tornadoes, called waterspouts, dancing together on the horizon. It was a beautiful, hypnotic, and terrifying display of nature's power. Today, brave men and women sit in dark rooms, watching satellite feeds, tracking the invisible movements of the air. They are the guardians who sound the alarm. We have built better radars and stronger houses, but the story of the tornado remains the same. It is a story of the chaotic, beautiful, and deadly force of our planet. It reminds us that while we live on the earth, the sky above us is wild, untamed, and always watching.